Out of all apps running in the background or all open apps on the iPhone 11, I have the iPhone 11 Pro Max here. Now, if you simply swipe up from the bottom, you'll get to the app switcher and you can go through and look at your apps that are open and running. All you need to do to close them out is just go ahead and swipe up until they're all gone. Then all you need to do is try and swipe up like that. Nothing comes up, then you've got them all cleared out. And it's as easy as going in and like opening an app up. Now if I swipe up again, you'll notice they're open again because I just opened them. So
feel threatened, maybe like someone's following you, you can call for help by taking out your phone, opening the phone app, dialing 911. But let's say you need to do it a lot quicker. Maybe you don't want them knowing that you're calling for help. Most people don't know that you can call 911 from an iPhone without touching the screen. You simply press the on-off button, the one on the right side of the phone, 5 times quickly. It's going to do 2 things: sound an alarm and call 911. Depending on which iPhone you have, you may be asked to drag a slider to make the SOS call. But with the new iPhones, the 8, 8 Plus, or X, it'll place the call automatically to the nearest 911 call center based on your phone's GPS. It will also share your phone's location. After calling 911, the phone will then send a text message to your emergency contacts. They'll see that you've called for help and your exact location. Now, you may want to set up your emergency contacts. You can do that in the Health app under Medical ID, Settings, Emergency SOS. You open the Health app and then tap Edit to add names and phone numbers from your contact list. Yeah, this is something you will probably never need, but it's still a good idea to get it set up on your phone for safety.
And some of the new features. We'll go a little bit more in depth on them in other slides. But basically, starts off with some changes to FaceTime. They can now do share play. So if you and a friend are in a different location, you can watch a movie together, for instance, and share your reactions on the screen. Spatial audio, if you have multiple people up, you can hear the different voices come through a little bit better. What they're trying to do is to make this more like Zoom or WebEx. You can schedule and share FaceTime calls with web links, and everybody's going to show up. So it's very nice use of FaceTime. Messages and emojis have been changed, and they've added some new emojis to it. Your photo collections now will appear as a collage, so it's a little bit easier to find some photos in there. One of the nice things that I like is focus. They've changed the do not disturb to something called focus, and you actually set it up. You will get some choices. I set up my driving the other day, for instance, and it'll send messages out if I'm driving. I can say let certain calls through. So it's really nice. It allows you to focus on different things, whether that be work or sleep. Your notifications are now going to become in a little bit more of a summary, and they've been redesigned to look a little bit better, and you can control the times that you see your notifications. They've done some really nice things with maps. It continues to be enhanced so that it's now a very good way to get around and to use. They've included traffic and a lot of other things. They've even included some things as far as transit. So if you are ever in New York, for instance, and you're riding the subway, it'll tell you when your stop is coming up and it's time to get off. You'll give you walking instructions, which I've used a lot of when we're in visiting different cities. Safari's been changed. One of the things that you'll see is now the search bar is at the bottom rather than the top. You can move it if you want to. Your bookmarks have been changed to tabs. There's some new voice searches, and you can add extensions on your phone just like you do on Mac. They've given you a short list of extensions to choose from. Wallet is going through a lot of changes. Several states now are letting you put your driver's license, for instance, in your wallet. I use it for my boarding passes on planes and a lot of other things. So there's nice stuff to do. You can use it as your room key if you're in a hotel that offers that. A lot of things that have been really done with photos and the ability to read text. You have to have a newer phone to be able to do it because it takes more power to be able to do it. But for instance, if you take a picture and there's a phone number in it, it'll be highlighted, or an email address is highlighted, and you can go from there straight to sending messages or making phone calls just from a picture. It'll give you live text translations in several different languages. And if you just use the camera, you can interact with photos. So I really like that. Visual lookup. If it scans your pictures, you can look. For instance, you can just put in. If you want to see a photo with a recipe in it, for instance, you can just type that in, and it will search through your photos and find that. Done some changes to Spotlight so that it's a little bit more useful. Your photos, changed the way that your memories look, made it a little bit easier to include your songs in there. Some huge changes in health. They've added some things. If you have an Apple Watch, it really works closely with an Apple Watch. One of the things that I really like is that now it'll assess your risk of falling. So if you're a little older and you're a little unsteady, it'll tell you whether or not you are at a risk of falling, and it'll give you some tips on how to improve that. There are going to be some other big changes coming in health, but they're not here yet. Your privacy, that's one of the big focuses with Apple. They give you a privacy report of what's going on. Your mail privacy now will hide your IP address so that you can't be tracked as easily. Siri is now done all on your iPhone. There's a new feature called Icloud Plus, so if you pay for any of the storage, and it's like 99 cents a month to get 20 gigabytes for Apple, but it gives you a lot of different things. One of them is iCloud Private Relay, which is, if any of you are familiar with virtual privacy networks, this is sort of Apple's answer to it, where it will use that to route your messages when you're browsing through different routers, so it will help you conceal your identity. It helps you hide your email by giving you some multiple email addresses that you can use, and without disclosing your real email address. So it helps you when you're out there protect yourself a little bit more from the scammers. We're going to talk a little bit more about that later on. There's a lot of other things that are coming out. Weather. Apple bought a weather service, and they've now added that to it. Accessibility. There are a lot of new things in accessibility about where you can do a lot of things with your receipts. Move your finger over a photo and discover a person's position. in there. Your notes have been upgraded. Translate now is again improved. It'll allow you to auto-translate a lot of websites you go to that are in different languages. Uh, they've done a few little changes to Find My. There's some widgets on there, and we'll talk a little bit about them later on. Your Apple ID lets you now designate a person to help you maintain access to your account. And Siri has some other things that have been done. So it's really a lot of stuff to talk about. Bar, you'll see the search bar is at the bottom of the screen, and it will disappear when you swipe it down. Uh, unless you open up tabs and switch through, and as you can see on this screen, it's also can customize your start page. I'm going to show you how to do a check for a fibrillation and see if your heart's in sinus rhythm on your Apple Watch. So you open up your apps, you go to ECG on your phone, and it'll tell you when it's ready to start taking it. You hold your finger on the crown for 30 seconds, and as you can see, it's checking my heartbeat. Basically a single lead ECG. And this will tell you at the end if your heart's in sinus rhythm and if you're having any AFib problems. I've checked it on people who actually have AFib, and it shows up right away when I've tried to do it. It's really quick. And when you get done, it'll tell you. It'll also send you a text. So you're in sinus rhythm, everything is fine. You also get a notification on your phone and ask you how you feel. Your Apple Watch is waterproof up to 100 feet, but don't try it because it may not work. But if you do go into water, you want to set the water drop to lock your watch. You swipe up from the bottom, and you're going to see a little water drop among the icons. You touch that water drop, give it a second, and you'll see the water drop appear at the top of your watch. When you come out of the water, your watch is locked. It won't do anything. It doesn't respond to anything. So you touch the digital crown, which is a round button on the side, and you start turning it either direction, and it will unlock. What it does is play a sound and clear the speakers out. Now your watch will work again. You can do things with it.